Chris Pitcairn draws stuff. He's made a bit of a head start, but that's okay. He was bored waiting for me. I was a bit late. So
nah. Just terribly insecure. I was like, no, I can't do the hard parts with an audience. I can't do that on stream. I'll cheat.
I was trying to cover for you, man.
No, I'm too honest. All right. Yeah, so today I'm doing something a bit more niche, which people might not have heard of. So this character is Alice Elliott, who is one of the main characters from a video game series called Shadow Hearts.
Okay.
It was released, well, it goes for 4 games. It was released on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. She's one of the leads in the second game and also appears in the third one. But she's essentially like a exorcist medium type thing. But this series is one of my favorites, and it's quite unique in that it's like a mixture of like dark fantasy. It's got a little bit of like Lovecraftian horror. Like it's quite like all the monsters are like straight out of Lovecraft. They're all sort of unknowable eldritch horrors. But it's a period game, so it's actually set during World War One.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the very first game, Kodaka, takes place, I think it was in like 1893 or something like that in Wales. So it's all like real world settings. Yeah, the 1890s in Wales. The second game, Shadow Hearts, takes place during 1913 to 1914. So right at the beginning of the Second World War. Sorry, not the Second World War, First World War. Get my timeline straight. And the third game, which is Shadow Hearts Covenant, takes place during 1914 to 1915. And then the fourth and final game takes place during the 1920s, I think in 1928.
Okay, that's a big jump.
Yeah, in America. And I remember I got the Shadow Hearts Covenant, the third game, right after I moved to Australia, and like the first locations you go to are all places in Europe. So it was like I just moved, and all of a sudden I was playing this game where the characters were like in Plymouth in England. I was like, oh, making me feel homesick. Yeah, so it's one of my it's one of my favorite video games. Like it's this really good mix of, like I was saying, horror, period drama. It's also like a black comedy. Yeah, it's good. And like I said, this character, Alice, was one of the main characters. And I thought for, carrying on with the theme of doing sort of period clothes, I draw her in something closer to like a 1913 traveling suit, women's traveling suit. So it's like, for people who have seen Titanic, it's very much that kind of look that Rose wears at the beginning of the film. So like sort of broader shoulders, big lapels, usually like massive hats. but then quite tight skirts for women. In this era is when they sort of really wore what were known as hobble skirts, because they were so tight that women would literally be hobbling around wearing them. They were quite difficult to walk in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's quite a famous photograph of a actually I'll have to see if I can find it, of a woman who was quite a famous model wearing one of these skirts that was so tight that like you can see the line of her abs through her corset. Like,
wow,
just absurd. Because I've got my iPad next to me where I've got all my fashion reference. Let me see if I can spot the image. Come on. 19.
We got a comment from Spedsy. Has Chris had dinner yet, or did I miss it?
No, it's a bit early for dinner. I usually eat quite late, usually not until like 8 or 9 o'clock, which is why I'm forever eating whilst doing drink and draw, because that falls right on dinner time. Model race. Ooh, course, let's try that. Oh, here we are. Now I can't.
See if we can see this.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, you can see the line.
Yeah. So like just incredibly tight clothes. And like I said, very difficult to walk in. Obviously things like travel wear, the day dresses, walking dresses, all of that kind of stuff were made looser, because they had to be, worn for travel, obviously. But it was also a little bit of, I think, rationing, like fabric rationing, because obviously once the war hit,
everything would have been rationed.
And it's like, so the 19 teens, so sort of 1908, 1909 to sort of 1912 is known as La Belle Epoque, or the beautiful era. And it's kind of really the last hurrah of the aristocracy and of like this particular kind of fashion, where it's very much dictated by the wealthy elite. Because it's also like once the 1920s and 1930s hit, you've got big recessions, you've got, the collapse of Wall Street. You will be. You've got, so money becomes tight, but also you've got the rise of cinema. And it's when you start seeing like cinema and film celebrities really sort of taking the place of what used to be, I guess, celebrity that was once held by the aristocracy.
Yes.
And yeah, I did that really badly. That's fine. Don't look. There we go. Not great, but better. Just keep just keep doing lines until it looks fine. But yeah, so it's a really gorgeous era for fashion, but it's also a little bittersweet, and also, yeah, it's just like a bit of a last hurrah. Fashion never really gets like that kind of over the top and opulent, especially after after both the wars coming in such quick succession. It also became quite, I guess, gauche to show off that much. But yeah, so this, what did I just do? So yeah, back to this character. So in the actual game, she wears like a blue and white traveling jacket with like weirdly a pleated like mini skirt and thigh-high white socks, and which is not very period accurate for the 1930s, but it does actually translate quite well to the era. Like there's enough pull from this period to kind of make it translate quite easily, particularly the jacket that she wears. The one she has these big like ruffles around the sleeves, and when I was researching for costume reference, for dress reference, one of the first things that popped up was a fashion plate from, I think, 1913 or 1914, and this woman had these big ruffly sleeves, and I was like, it's literally that. That's what she's wearing in the actual game. So that kind of stuff was very much around, but obviously she wouldn't have been wearing she wouldn't wear a short skirt. So lengthened the skirt a little bit and gave her a bit of more of a hobble skirt and a longer coat. Because a lot of the time with fashion prior to like the mass manufacturing of clothes, you'd usually have more of a capsule wardrobe. You'd have one or two like bigger pieces and then a bunch of sort of little things that you swap out. So like a woman might have one, maybe two skirts, but then half a dozen different blouses. She might only have one jacket that she wears with all of them, but she'll have one skirt that works specifically with the jacket. And it's very much the same for men as well. Men would usually only have one like work suit and one sort of proper dinner suit, because normally you get your suits made as a whole, the trousers, the waistcoat, the jacket, all are often made out of the same fabrics, same patterns, that kind of thing, so that when they're worn, they all work together. Oh God, I'm drawing this really badly. What do you mean, yes? You're not supposed to agree with me.
No, I wasn't saying yes to that. I was saying yes to what you said before that.
Sure.
I said yes and then realized what you'd said in between me responding. And I went, oh, well, that's what I was saying yes to.
Heartbroken. Actually, I'm going to give her some pockets. Actually, that's another misconception. Like, women in this era often had massive pockets in their clothes. Because
Okay.
I don't know how much you know of women's fashion today, but women generally have
No pockets.
horrendously small pockets in their clothes.
Yes.
If they have pockets at all, a lot of the time, pockets in women's fashion these days are fake. Um, and there's this idea that, oh, you know, handbags were invented so they could take pockets out of women's fashion. And it isn't true. Handbags have been around for, you know, centuries, you know, used by both men and women. And, but women had pockets. Like, you look at, like, the big Marie Antoinette skirts that kind of go a meter out on either side. They had like shopping bag sized pockets that they slip into those.
Wow.
And yeah, so I will give this Alice some big hefty pockets on her
Big
coat.
ass pocket.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and for the general look of this, when the game was released, all the character portraits had the characters surrounded by different birds, so or like flying things. So like one of the characters was surrounded by dragonflies, one of them was surrounded by bats. It was a vampire, and Alice had this portrait of her surrounded by butterflies. So I'm kind of
very nice.
Mimicking that. Let me see if I can find it and pull it up. Oh, come on, work with me. No, it's being silly.
Damn technology.
Okay, it's kind of a blurry.
Oh, okay. You're doing full screen again. I'll get ready.
Kind of a blurry JPEG, but
oh yeah,
that's the original character portrait. I don't know how close cool. I need to hold it. But come on, work. There we go.
I've got to get one of those ring lights.
Yeah. The handy
At the moment, I'm mostly shadow.
Oh, I wish I was.
Doesn't look good. Makes it look evil. Evil sizzle. Evil sizzle.
I'm fine with that. All right, and just drawing.
I do like the effect of all the butterflies around her.
They're going to be a pain in the backside to color, but it's all right. I will make do. All right, I think just one or two more, and then I will get to coloring.
Ooh.
All right, flick that off. So let's start off with skin tone. Actually, let's start off by flicking on my texture layer. Button that up a little. So again, out of my library of different layers that I have for doing stuff, I have a bunch of like parchment and old paper textures.
Oh, cool.
So this is actually like the sort of stuff I used when I was doing Hell Courtesan to give like the slight rice paper effect to the pages. All right, where's my triangle? Here we go. Flick that on. One of the things I find is always important to remember is to if I go up here, I can change the opacity to work with the pressure of the pen, so that like the softer I press, the fainter the color, the harder I press, the harder the color. Whereas if I turn it off, it's just yeah, and it's much better, I find, to when I'm doing coloring, to try and have the opacity be a bit more variable and a bit easier to control. Especially because it means that it makes it a bit easier working in like blush and slight variations in skin tone when you're not constantly having to go over and change color. You can just use the one and then just change how hard you're pressing.
That's really cool. And this is Photoshop, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Clip Studio Paint has the same function. I'd be surprised if it didn't.
Yep, I just have to find it.
Yeah. There we go. But yeah, I'm not trying to do too much with like the colors and skin tones in this one, because the actual, like, the way the artist colored the original pieces is not overly, like, there's not a huge amount of variation in the color. It's mostly focusing on like the line work and the texture created by that. So I'm kind of trying to keep it a little simple. Not that I think I'll succeed, because I can't help but make everything complicated. But yeah. What do I need? Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Let's just move that back up. So when I'm doing lips, I usually go in with a darker color first and then go back over it with a lighter color, and it just gives a little bit more like depth and a little bit more luster, I find, anyway. And you usually leave the top lip slightly darker than the bottom, because
remember that,
because it sticks out and you get that shadow. And then I'm just going to go in with some white so I can do my highlights. Also eyes. One of the tricks I have been trying out recently, which is something I've actually learned from a lot of Chinese artists that they do, is when you're doing the whites of the eyes, do them like a grayish blue, and then come in with a sort of slightly lighter gray. To give them a little bit of depth. And then you can, because then when you go in with highlights, you can actually really show where the white is. Yeah, and I'll do the eyes the same way I've kind of done the lips, which is start off with darker colors and then go in with lighter ones.
Coloring 101. I love it.
See if I can remember how to do pearls.
Personal class just for me that happens to be live.
Alright.
But it works. That looks amazing already.
Cool. There you go. Next thing we're going to do is her hair, and this is where I may have scuppered myself, but that's fine, because I've now got to very carefully go around and select anything that I haven't already coloured and hope I don't go over anything. But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was wondering what you were doing. Now I understand. Yep.
Yeah. I don't usually like doing this just because it's just as time consuming to put down like a basic flat color and then sort of go over that. But at the same time, you don't get the kind of more painterly look.
Mm-hmm.
If you prep the colors too much, and I do like I have been liking this sort of more freehand look, so it kind of is worth the trouble.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, for all the drawings that I've done on the amateur hour, which you can see on Saturdays, people, except the Saturday just being because I was at Supernova, I just do bucket to color things in. Bucket. Very fancy, very fancy.
So fancy. All right. So again, with everything else, starting off with like darker colors and then working up to the lighter stuff. There's kind of like mixed schools of thought on, which way you do it, whether you start light and go dark or start dark and go light. I kind of go between them. It often just depends on A, what I feel like doing, B, sort of what the look of the... Oh, I forgot my tea.
Don't let the tea go cold.
Too late.
No.
Doom. Yeah, it kind of depends on like the look I'm going for. Like, so when I did Wolf Cubs with Ez, that was very much the opposite. I started light and then went dark because the coloring was quite simple and it was very, it was very much inspired by like cell shading and that kind of thing. Whereas for stuff with like Fox and Hound, for example, I tend to go start off dark and then make a bit of a gradient and then work in highlights.
Okay.
So yeah, it really depends on what kind of look and what effect you're trying to achieve.
I think it'd be a long time before I get this fancy with my coloring.
You never know. And then just kind of going over.
I'm watching and I wouldn't even thought to put half the lines that you've put in.
Yeah. Well, it's just like following the strokes of the hair and kind of knowing how, the hairstyle works. Because obviously that then tells you how the light's going to sort of work. Yeah, it's that weird thing of I said to friends of mine who work in theatre, like I use so much of what I learned doing theatre doing comics because you still have to have a lot of the knowledge of how is this building made, how is this costume put together. You need to know all of that because that then tells you how it's going to move and how it's going to look when you're drawing different poses. And it's like a few times when I was starting out, I'd design an outfit for a character and then I'd go in and read the script and go, well, I'm going to have to redesign that because there's no way they can do that action in this outfit.
Oh, okay.
All right. Just do her bow real quick, which won't take too long because it's just a really basic blue ribbon. But it's like, also with this, like one of the big tricks is to use like texture layers, like I'm doing with the parchment paper, because like that does a lot of the work for you in bringing out like depth. And because if I turn that off, all of a sudden it looks weird. You can see where all the colors aren't quite matching. But if I flick that back on,
yes, big difference.
Yeah, the texture does a lot of work in helping to blend in the colors and also give that depth. So that's
Chris the Trickster.
Yeah, like I said, it's all cheating. It's all magic. Cheating.
Cast your spells elsewhere, you magic maker.
All right. Right. And then just some highlights. All right, and that's the bow done. Like just really basic, simple, quick. Dark color down first, slight gradient, and then just the highlight. Just 3 colors. And again, I'm just using the one triangle brush. There we go. To do that.
I'll have to see if I have a triangle brush. I'm sure I do.
Well, it's pretty easy to make custom brushes. They don't take too long. And half the time you can just look up like generic shapes, or even get Photoshop to make the shape for you, or Clip Studio to make the shape for you. So a lot of there will probably be, if you have a look, a tool that will make squares or triangles or rectangles or whatever,
cool.
that will be part of the program. All right, now I'm not going to go quite as dark with her blouse, just because I don't want to. But also just down the bottom, trying to have the color drift off, which is a bit more difficult to do. Yeah, about to. Again, just lots and lots and lots of pleats, which are, like, again, this is kind of fairly simple to do. I'm just putting the lighter color just in streaks down the page over the darker color, and that's what's giving it the shape and the texture, but it's just a really quick, simple motion. And then go in with white to do the highlights. Almost forgot about the bit of skirt plan there, but that's fine. Don't question me. I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. Yeah. Just shadow under her cross. How's that looking? Produce a little bit more. Right. There we go. That's looking better. All right, cool. Now this fun bit where I have to be very careful outlining everything because I'm just going straight over what I've just coloured.
I'll start a very complicated conversation right now.
Oh. Concentrate. No. Went over the lines. Doom. Nope, I did it again. There we go. Oh my god. My brain just suddenly stopped working.
I get that all the time, so it's okay.
Alright, 5th time's a charm. But yeah, like I'm essentially just using the lasso tool and holding down shift, so I just select little bits at a time rather than trying to do the whole thing at once.
Smart way to do it.
Yeah. So long as I actually remember. All right, there you go. Sweet. Got there in the end.
It is gold.
Yep.
Sort of. Oh, it is gold. Okay. Oh, sorry. You put the darker and then yeah, I remember now. I'm learning slowly.
Yeah, especially with stuff that's like metallic, because you kind of build up the light and the reflections and the luster of it. Plus, it helps having a parent who makes jewelry for a living, and as part of their job, draws a lot of jewelry. So,
okay.
Yeah. So my dad is a goldsmith, and he literally just does this kind of stuff for his job.
Oh wow.
And so here I've just changed the setting of the pen. So instead of being just normal, it's set to color dodge up here, so that when I go over it, it brightens up all of the colors beneath it, which is how it gets that kind of metallic glow. And it's just a really simple, easy way to do that kind of like gold look. But then I'm going to come in with like a dark black. No, that's way too big. Let's try this. Yeah, that's better.
This has been a very tip-heavy episode. I'll be rewatching this one with a notepad and taking notes.
So yeah, this is actually just something I'm sort of trying to learn myself. Like recently, I've been doing a lot of study of like shiny metallic objects, both in terms of in real life, but also seeing how other comic book artists render metal, and just generally trying to get better at it because it's something I struggle with a lot.
Nice. Not nice that you struggle with it, but nice that you're studying how to do it better.
Yeah. Let's go to this again. Give that a bit of polish. Add in some whites. And then I'm going to go back to you and go, where do I want you? Color them. Go down here.
And to those guys or guys and girls, those people, that's easier. Those people on YouTube, are you guys, God, I just did it again. Are you getting like a discrepancy between the moving picture and the sound? I had some issues with the video I did earlier today, and I'm just curious if it's doing it again. Dave says it's looking good, but I think he wrote that before I asked the question. And I should probably keep talking so that you can notice if there's a discrepancy. Not ask the question, then go silent.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you noticing? Are my lips moving to the words I'm saying? No, sound is in sync. Yeah, my picture's small, so it's hard to see. Yeah. Yeah, Kerry's saying that it's working for her.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so I don't know why my videos are so out of sync. Might be a Facebook thing because I don't think I checked YouTube.
Oh, maybe.
I just went back. I accidentally went past my video and watched it, and yeah, it's like so out of sync.
That's weird.
And because there's only me by myself, it's really hard to tell if it was my feed that was doing it. But you're not getting no discrepancy, so it's not like it's my feed that's doing it. So then I started to think maybe it was StreamYard, but now they're saying this one's fine. So maybe it's when I'm by myself, StreamYard gets scared.
Yeah, just blame
Thanks,
it on
Dave.
blame it on the technology. It's their fault.
Dave, I'm getting a lesson in color methodology. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I'm going to use. This is great fun.
It's a good word.
I'm having a ball here. All these little tips.
All right. Now, just quickly do some erasing, and then I'm on to doing the coat, which is going to be basically most of the color.
Oh, okay.
So I've mostly been doing all the little bits and pieces.
The fiddly bits.
Yeah. And then this is going to be an absolute pain in the neck, but we will get there.
You can do it.
You sure?
Yes. Or else I will find your address because I know I've got it, and I'll come over there and slap you.
Dun dun dun. All right.
Or I'll just go, oh no, do it again. Depends what mood I'm in. If I'm up for the long drive,
yeah,
slapping mood.
It'll be like midnight, and I'll suddenly get a knock at the door and a slap in the face.
I'll do it old school. I'll do it with the glove.
Yeah. Just be like, what?
I challenge you to a duel.
All right. Oh. Note self, don't look in the light. All right. Getting there. Getting there. Oh, I just completely forgot to color that section. Oh well.
I was wondering if that was an effect or just a missed piece.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a bit that I missed, but that's fine. It's going to be blue now. All right.
We've All else fails, draw a butterfly over top of it. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just, where's my alt button? There we go. Just cutting out the that bit from the selection so I don't accidentally color it.
Are you using all different layers for each one of these things that you do?
I should be.
If you're pressing bits, I'm not noticing you doing it. That's all.
I should be
Oh,
using
that
different
sounds
layers.
like you're not.
Oh no, I'm. It's all one layer.
Oh, living dangerously.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. This is the bit where it's going to slow my computer right down because I'm just doing huge swathes of color. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that there. Need to go a little bit careful towards the bottom because I'm trying to fade the color out. But all right, there we go. Now her coat, although it looks blue, it actually has a little bit of green in it. So I'm gonna try not to overdo. Like I've got a really dark navy blue as my base, but when I go over it, I'm gonna try and add in like more green tones, particularly when I do the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back over with like the darker navies to do the shadows. Let's see if I can do this.
Why would I want to know the weather now?
I'm just looking at the time and going, let's see if I can finish this in 10 minutes.
I just looked at the time. No, you got 12 and a half. That makes all the difference. I don't have to finish it, man.
Don't I? Don't
No,
I?
You can finish it after if you want, and then we can show the picture at the beginning of the next time. How's that?
No, it has to be done. I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it in 10 minutes.
You can do it.
Is that from something? It sounds really familiar.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from some really stupid movie, and I have it stuck in my vocabulary now.
What's the movie?
God, it's so stupid. I haven't even just my brain hasn't decided to record it. It's I can't remember the actor who's the main actor of the damn thing. Oh,
can't think. You can do it.
I can do it. I can do it. Who's the main actor of Billy Madison? Adam Sandler. It's an Adam Sandler movie. I think it might be the one where he becomes a footballer.
Ah.
I think.
I don't know if I've seen it. I admit I
might be the
watched
Water
much.
Boy. I don't know.
I admit I haven't watched much Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it's the Water Boy. Kerry knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She knows Adam Sandler, apparently.
Personally?
And that silly phrase has gotten stuck in my head, and I say it all the bloody time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's Bob. What's his name again? Rob Schneider is the actor who says that line.
Ah. All right. Just doing the
Sherry wasn't here, I'd be stuffed. I wouldn't have a clue. She says correct. No disagreements.
All right. That's the.
I have trouble with pop culture.
You and me both. Especially when 90% of it is stuff that I just completely miss. Okay, so here's a tip. When you, like I have, when you've got a layer over the top, it's going to change the colors slightly. And by default, your color picker is set to sample every layer. But the problem is, it means that when I
every
click
layer,
this
and then you
color,
put that on top of the other layer.
yeah.
Is that what you
Whereas,
mean?
yeah, so it's like the issue is that if I click this color, it's not actually picking the right color, it's picking the altered color. Because I actually want it to pick this color without
So
the
you got
layer.
to turn it off.
Yeah, so if I go up here, I can change it to only pick the colors from the layer I'm working on, which is far more useful. I'm going to go up here and grab this for a second because this part of her coat is not light enough. And then I've got.
So you think you're going to get this coat done and the butterflies, or are you just talking the coat?
Mainly the coat.
Okay,
the butterflies I might be able to get done, but because I'm literally on the last little section, I just have to color this bit of her dress, and then it's all finished, or at least she's all finished, and then I just have to do the butterflies, and the butterflies I can do pretty quickly. All right.
Nice. I know we'll speed this up. Bucket.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right, that's that. Okay, so I'm quickly going to go around and erase the bits I don't want, and then she's done, and then I can just do the butterflies. Although those I will do on a separate layer because that's going to be easier. All right. Speed coloring.
Power of the layers.
Yeah. Do not neglect your layers. And also don't draw on the wrong layer or color on the wrong layer because it's just painful.
Yeah, I discovered that on my first live drawing where I did the inks on the pencils layer. And I was just like, okay, I turn this layer off and oh, that's everything gone.
Yeah. I've done that so many times. It never stops hurting. It's just it's upsetting every single time. All right.
And saving, that's the other thing I'm bad at. Remembering to save.
Thank you for reminding me. I have not saved this entire time.
Oh, whoa.
Although I will say Photoshop has this new feature now where if it shuts down, it recovers the last project that was open on it if it hadn't been saved, which is really cool.
Well, I can tell you right now that doesn't always work. Because unless she doesn't have the latest version. But Rosanna on another stream that we do on Comics, it shut down in the middle of what she was doing and she lost like 5 minutes because she hadn't saved it for a while.
Oh no.
Because when it came back up, it was 5 minutes ago it came back up.
Oh no. Yeah, it's the worst. But yeah, I think it is only the very latest version.
Yeah. I don't know if she owns one of the older pay once types or if she has the subscription type, so it's always updated.
Yeah, I know a few people who bought it way back when and just like, no, I'm not going to update it and have to keep paying for it. I'm just going to use the one I've got. Yeah.
It's my least favorite thing of web design. Everything that I do is subscription based.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Be it a yearly subscription or a monthly subscription, everything I use is subscription based.
yeah, it's an absolute pain. All right. Time to start cheating because I'm not going to be careful with these butterflies. But I am going to use a different brush. So
Monster brush.
yeah, I'm going to use my one of my cloud brushes. I'm just going to pick a bunch of different colors. And go down here. Add in some dark ones.
Nice.
Okay, now let's see if what I have in mind works. Let's do that.
Are you blurring them?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool.
So
Just checking it was my eyes. You can never tell at this age.
All right.
Is this so you don't have to erase the outside color?
Basically, because
nice.
I'm now going to.
I love it.
So they all look kind
of.
Yeah, they all look glowy and. I can just go in on the inside of the wings just to give them a little bit more solid color. There we go.
It's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Going to make the hour mark with a few little tricks.
Yep. I should have gotten rid of that orange, but that's fine. Actually, no, I won't do that. Alright, do I have any more orange ones? No, I don't. Just the dark ones left.
The lines you used on the metal have really worked well once you zoom out.
Yeah, like it looks weird close up, but from a distance it works a bit better. Right.
It's worked really well.
And then I'm going to grab a new brush, which is actually like petals.
Is this another custom one?
No, this is one I bought or downloaded. The person who made it actually made it freely available.
Cool.
Like if you hop on, like a good place to find free brushes is DeviantArt. If you hop on there, let me just change this to always. A lot of places there will have that's why. A lot of places there will have free brushes that people make and upload.
Cool.
They often don't work quite as well as paid brushes, but you know, in saying that, you can use that as a jumping off point and tweak them and change them till they work the way you want them to. So, all right.
Sounds all like done. Plugins for WordPress.
But it's like people are starting to do a lot of like Procreate brushes. The Clip Studio paintbrushes as well are quite popular. So like they're all there. All right, I think she's about done. Alice Elliott
Looks amazing.
The Shadow Hut series. The 1913 walking dress.
Nice.
Cool. Done.
Love it, man. Love it. That's amazing. And you made the hour.
Woo!
Impressive. Impressive. Now I'm just going to stretch it out for another hour so that Dave can't do his show. Oh, no, hang on. No, Dave's watching. Don't say that.
Don't tell him. I will keep it a secret if you will.
Excellent. I'm good at secrets. Actually, no, I'm not. Terrible with secrets. Like, want to know a secret? Oh, shit. There it goes. I did it again. Now I've got your banner up. So for everyone watching, crispy.inks on Instagram is where you find this man's excellent artwork. Some of it, believe it or not, even better than this. So it's pretty cool place to go. Check out what he does. Chris, thank you very much again for another stream.
Thank you for having me. It's been
absolute
fun.
Pleasure. And thank you to everyone who's watching and did watch and will watch in the future. And yeah, I will. Oh, we've got a comment. Oh, Dave heard that. Oops.
Oh no.
Dave heard that. Damn it.
Oh no.
There really is a lag between what we say and what they hear and then what they reply back with.
Yeah.
I will go to this so that we can go. And I will say thank you to everyone, including Chris, including the watchers, including everyone. Let's just thank everyone. Everyone in the world, thank you. Except those bad people. You know who you are.
They're not thanks.
Have a good rest of the Monday. And remember, Dave Dye is doing a show on here in half an hour. So you can watch Dave Dye do some traditional work if you want to see some traditional versus digital. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so thank you very much. See you, Chris. See you, viewers.
Laters.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.